In HR, the personal ratios can be used when you are predicting that how many candidates should be recruited in order to fill one job or number of jobs. So what do? We actually get some data from our trend analysis, which means the past experience that we have developed based on our recruitment. So let's assume that in order to hire one new cost accountant, in the past, this was the trend and these were the ratios that we can see in the data. Now simply, our data shows that for every 12 applications received, only one looks promising enough to invite for an interview. So the ratio is 1 to 12, which means if you receive 12 applications, out of 12 applications, only one person is capable enough or promising enough to be called for the interview. So this is the first stage of the ratios that we got. Then when you call that person for the interview, which is the second stage now, so here data shows that if you call 5 people for the interview, only one is actually offered a position. So how many are successful out of 5? 1 out of 5. So the ratio at the second stage is 5 into 1, 5 to 1 ratio. And then when you offer people jobs, when you offer 3 jobs, which means that when you make an offer of a job to 3 people, 2 actually accept the job. That means here at the third stage, the ratio is 3 to 2. So if 3 people are offered, only 2 will accept it. And then at the next stage, if you hire 10 people as new workers, 9 complete their training program or their socialization program successfully, and they become your employees. So now if you keep a track of the people at different stages, 12 ratio 1, 5 ratio 1, 3 ratio 2, and 10 ratio 9. So based on this, what you can say is that for every one person to be hired as a cost accountant, you must at least train or ask people for the training program, which is 1.11. Where does this come from? This is coming from this ratio. And then if you look at how many people should be offered a job in order for them to be part of the training program, that is coming from 2 to 3 ratio, this data. And then if you see that 8.33 job interviews must be conducted in order for you to offer jobs to 1.67 people. So this ratio is actually coming from this one. And then if you look at the data of this ratio, which means 100 applications must be received so that 8.33 job interviews can be held. So this ratio is coming from this 12 to 1. So this is what our data is offering us from the previous record, that how many people should be recruited, which means how many applications should be received in order to successfully hire one person. So let's now go to our Excel file and see how do we calculate it. So here we have our Excel file. First, you need to understand what is happening in the file. What is our past data telling us? So let's look at these jobs. These are the different job titles, all of them. Because we have the record of the previous recruitment and selection, and at each step, how many people were shortlisted, that's why we can predict our future, that how many people should we recruit in order to hire one or certain number of people. So now what our data is telling us is that for virtual assistants, when you recruited 259 people, actually 236 met the basic criteria. The other applications were discarded. And then when you out of 236, only 194 were called for the test and others were dropped because of some reason. And then after the test, only 90 were capable to go to the next stage. And when you check the reference, you could only call 56 people for the interview. And then out of 56, only 10 were promising enough to be called for the final interview. And you offered the job to 5 people, and 3 of them joined your orientation program, and 1 again left here, and then 2 took the training program, but again from there 1 person left, and you were able to get 1 successful employee. So this is showing all the stages. So in order to hire 1 employee, you had to offer training to 2 people, then you need to give the orientation to 3 people, job offers were made to 5 people, and then 10 and 56. So in short, it means that when you at least recruit 259 people, you will be able to successfully convert them into 1 employee, which will stay with you. Now the same data if we carry in our future prediction part here. So if you just follow, it's the same data, but this data is for the 1 employee hiring. So let's now look at what is happening here. So if you have this data already collected and entered into some kind of software, let's say Excel. Now what you can do is this data is for 1 employee. And let's suppose we have a job of this customer support, which is our 3rd one. So this 3rd job, if we need to hire people, let's say you need 5 people in the customers services department. So what should be our recruitment plan? So let's just put 5 here and see how things are changing. So now we can clearly see, let me just highlight it, and we can clearly see that in order to hire 5 customer service people, we need to at least recruit 1440 people, and then next predictor level and next predictor level, and eventually we will be able to hire 5 people. So this way you can very well decide how many people should be recruited, should be then transferred to the next level and the next level and the next level. So this is a very useful thing if you want to predict your number of applicants you should receive for a certain job.